Okay, perfect. It's fine. Good job.
And I'll do screen share. Hi, welcome everyone. Hi, nice to see everyone.
I think, can we all we can be unmuted, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think it says it has the ask to unmute option on there. That might have been just a default setting when I set up the meeting.
Everyone, I think we're all able to unmute ourselves. I believe so.
Yeah.
I'm able to do it. I see Ms. Sanchez is ready to take notes. All right. Do I just start? Do I just call the meeting to order?
Yes, go ahead and get
Thanks, Ms.
started.
Nova.
We're here to support you. It's your meeting.
Oh, is it? All right, I'm scared. All right, let's call this meeting to order. I have 6:05. And do we take roll? Okay, so I believe that's Ms. Sanchez who takes roll.
Roll call. Okay, we have to do this like hairspray, everybody. So be ready to sing your name.
I've never seen it, so
Oh, well,
you don't want to hear me sing anyway.
there's your homework for this week. All right, so our administrator, Ms. Navarro, do we put you or Mr. Finley or both, or who's going to count today?
You can put me down as present. Thank you.
Okay, and then do we have for the classified staff vacancy, do I put anyone for that?
I think it would be Marilyn, right? Or Rachel?
And Rachel, I mean, we can do roll call. If the people in attendance can announce yourselves, that would be great. Thank you.
Rachel Staylor.
So, sorry, would she be considered a guest or classified staff vacancy? Or where would I put her?
You're not in the team, right, Rachel?
Not yet.
So classified. Oh, I'm sorry, guest. She's guest.
So do I wait for her or just type her in now?
You can type her in.
And I guess what Carl is trying to probably ask too, someone from the classified staff would act as the post in the posting that it's vacant. So I guess she wanted to know if we should put Rachel name in that slot as the classified staff representative, since we I think since we're missing someone. Is that correct?
Are we missing someone?
Yeah, that's correct. I was going to provide an update on that at a later time, or when you were going to request that update, Mr. Murillo.
Okay.
Yeah, I know it's kind of out of order, but I guess we need it for this. Dr. Renty and I spoke, and I believe Rachel was supposed to be that classified member.
Okay.
But I'm not sure if she was able to or not. And Dr. Renty and I both said that maybe Marilyn could take that position since she's here and so heavily involved in all the preparations for the meetings.
So Sanchez, I would go ahead and put Marilyn's name there for the classified staff.
Should I put her name next to it or just delete the classified staff vacancy and put Marilyn's name?
You can put it next to it.
Okay. I don't even know if I'm spelling your name right, Marilyn. Am I doing it right?
Yeah, it looks good.
All right. I'll look back later and fix it. Okay, next Genevieve,
Present.
Alvin. I'll take the bark as a present.
Is he here?
I don't know, is Alvin here?
I don't see his name on
I-
here.
Okay.
So go ahead and put him as absent.
I was hoping that was his dog. Ruth. Okay, John,
Present.
Jennifer Grubb,
I'm here, thank you.
Jennifer Hamilton,
Present.
Brett McIntosh,
Here.
and Delfino Murillo. Okay.
Do we have any other guests here? Just Rachel today?
I believe we have Rachel and we have
With Judy.
Oh, Miss Judy.
Mr. Finley.
Anyone else?
I think that's it.
That's it.
Okay.
All right. So now we move to approve this agenda. That's today's agenda, correct?
Yes, that's correct. So if there's any, I guess, any changes anybody wants to.
Is it, yeah, does anybody want to add something to tonight's agenda or? No? Okay, so can I have a motion to approve the agenda, please?
Jennifer
Motion to
Grove, I
approve.
motion.
Jen Grob, motion to approve it. And John, is that, can I count that as a second?
Yeah, I'll second.
Awesome, thank you, John. Now we take the vote. So Susie, how do you vote? You can do thumbs up also.
Oh, yes, right. Thank you. Thumbs up.
Okay, Marilyn, how do you vote?
Aye.
Thank you.
Aye.
Genevieve, thank you. Alvin's absent today. Carla, go ahead and put yours in. John, how do you vote?
Aye.
Thank you. Jennifer Grob, how do you vote?
Aye.
Thank you. Ms. Hamilton, how do you vote?
Aye.
Thank you. Brett,
Aye.
thank you. And I also vote aye. So it should be 9. Awesome. So the motion passes or carries, I'm sorry. Is there, well, do Mr. Finley, Miss Judy, or Miss Rachel want to make any comments, any public comments? Okay, seeing a couple of heads shake no. Okay, let's move on. The next thing is to discuss the bylaws. So did everybody get a copy of these? Miss
Marilyn?
Marilyn, I'm sorry, Miss Marilyn is sharing them right now. This is probably going to be the meat of tonight's meeting. And we're just kind of basically gonna approve it for how we feel like it's gonna work for us. This is a template from the CDE, and we're gonna make it for the REACH School Site Council. And I guess do you guys want me to read it? Does anybody else have a copy of it?
Just so everybody knows, all the linked documents are on the agenda. So if you're viewing or have another device near you, you can open the links and
Mhm.
follow along. Prior to the meeting, we prepared by highlighting the areas that would need just for you guys to agree on like a number or a date or time. So there will be plenty of portions that we could either just skip over or not have to read, but I guess it would be up to you, Mr. Murillo, how you want to proceed.
Okay. The first 3 paragraphs effective January 1st all the way down to with the removal of the LCAP don't really apply to us. it's basically saying, how do we want to set this up? But the school has already decided that we're going to pursue it through the school site council. So we can jump over that. Right there, obviously, we're going to include where it says insert name, we're going to put our name. So Reach STEAM Leadership Academy. And Miss Marilyn,
Question, I wanted to know, did you want Ms. Sanchez to fill this in as the secretary, or did you want me to fill in as we scroll through?
oh, Miss Sanchez, I guess should do it. Are you able to do it, Miss Sanchez, right now, or?
Marilyn, can you, oh, you can click in the link, Ms. Sanchez?
Yeah, I did. I had to request access.
Okay.
I just requested access.
Okay, great. Thank you.
I'm just looking for that same spot. So
I know everything's harder through Zoom.
okay.
Okay.
I'm
Good.
ready.
Oh, this is good. So this is going to talk about what our duties are. It would be good to read it just so that we're kind of aware of what our responsibilities are as a committee. And so while we don't necessarily have to change anything here, let's just go over them quickly. The first duty is to obtain recommendations for and review of the proposed school plan for student achievement from all school advisory committees. Right now, we have two committees, the ELAC committee and the APAC committee. I don't know if there's any others. I don't know if Ms. Susie has any information on that or Mr. Finley has any information on that. If we have other committees.
For now, those are the two committees that we have. And then, of course, you know, we'll grow as we go.
Yeah. And if there's any of these members here today want to start, or maybe even just throw out an idea for a subcommittee, we can always do that at a later date. I do recommend that you guys get involved personally in these two committees. They need support. The teachers need help running these things. So just as a quick note, I can email you guys if you want the link, or Ms. Dumeier can email you guys a link, but she will be having the first ELAC committee this year, 2 weeks from today, the 28th, from 3 to 4. So if you can attend, please try to attend that. Try to get the word out to other parents if you can. And then right now I'm working with Ms. Gascon, who's working with Ms. Jenkins on getting the APAC committee. They said sometime in February, they're going to try to have their first meeting. And again, us parents know, because we see it every day, the teachers are working really hard to keep up a standard. And so as much help as we can get, I do ask you guys to please get involved. Okay, the next one. Develop and approve the school plan for student achievement and related expenditures in accordance with all state and federal laws and regulations. There will be a budget meeting coming up where we have to talk about that. Everything that we spend out of these categorical funds has to be justifiable according to what goal we want to use. So we can't just say, hey, this money's for books, but we're going to use it to buy gym equipment all of a sudden. This gets approved by the CDE and we kind of have to stick to it. So we really have to plan this out and think, what are our goals? I think this year, playground equipment isn't a goal, but maybe, home literacy packets are a goal, or whatever it may be. Third, recommend the SPSA and expenditures to the governing board for approval. Provide ongoing review of the implementation of the SPSA with the principal, teachers, and other school staff members. So again, that comes with the periodical checking in with the subcommittees, and then we recommend that to the school board. We work with leadership at Reach, and we just are constantly making sure that what we're doing is being efficacious and it's having a good effect on our students. 3, make modifications to the SPSA whenever the need arises, and all of that kind of goes hand in hand. Then submit the modified SPSA for governing board approval whenever a material change as defined in district governing board policy is made in planned activities or related expenditures. So there is room for flexibility, but again, that will have to be reviewed. This might be a guest trying to come in right now. annually and at each semester, trimester, et cetera, evaluate the progress made towards school goals to raise the academic achievement of all students. So one of the things we're going to look at, and Dr. Renty said that the school staff will be responsible for presenting us information on academics, demographics, and things like that so that we can make informed decisions. And lastly, carry out all of the duties assigned to the school site council by the district governing board and by state law. The next real important section is members. So here we're going to define terms because I don't know that they have been defined. We're also going to maybe kind of plan out elections. So the school site council shall be composed of blank number of members. So ours is composed of 10, selected by their peers as follows. So blank classroom teachers, we have 3. Is that right?
Yes, that is correct.
Oh, okay. Oh, you did it. Awesome. Other school staff members, that's 2. That's the admin and a classified employee. And then parents or community members, 5. No, 6. No, 5. Okay, I can't do math. I'm sorry, guys. And all right, so that's good. That much we've already kind of figured out, or it's been given to us. In terms of the office, school site council members shall be elected for a 1-year term. So we can change that if we want to. I don't know. I know that things change from year to year for teachers as well as parents. So I'm not sure if you guys want to keep it at 1 year. I think to be smart, we should do a minimum of 2 years so that we can have a period in between where we re-elect half of the members and then the other half stays on kind of to guide. I don't know if that makes sense. So that every year we're having an election and half of the board is being replaced or re-elected.
So would half of us be up for a re-election next year, and then the other half the year after that we'd like split it in half, like half of the teachers, half the school staff, half the parents, kind of thing?
Yeah. That's just an idea. Again, I'm not writing this by myself. So whatever you guys think, feel free to have input, say yay or nay.
But that's what the assumed stipulation that the group here doesn't want to stay on for 2 years.
What do you mean that they do want to stay
Like
on?
every single person. So if every single person that's been elected now stays on for a 2-year term, then you're going to have difficulty actually splitting it in half.
Right. I think for the first election, if we were to have it next year, some people would automatically have a 1-year term. And then that would kick off but then again, we'd only put up half of the positions for re-election. So we'd have to kind of figure out how to do that in a fair way, right? I can't just say, hey, John, you're up next year, I'm not. So we kind of have to figure out a way to do that. We can do three years of first one, or we can just do, I don't know.
Maybe something to ponder and reevaluate.
Okay. And we can also email about this. It doesn't have to be at this meeting, and then the next time we have a little bit more to jump in with. I really want to try to keep the meetings to an hour. I know you guys have families and personal things to get to, and we've already given up a large part of our day as it is. So Marilyn, let's skip over that section. And then we'll come back to that another day. Voting rights is pretty simple. We all have one right to vote. We cannot mail in a vote. You have to be present at the meeting to vote. Termination of membership. The school site council may, by an affirmative vote of 2/3 of all its members, suspend or expel a member. And any elected member may terminate his or her membership by submitting a written letter of resignation to the school site council chairperson. So we'd have to figure out how to do that. And we'd also, I think it would be a good idea to write kind of what we think would be a reason to expel or suspend a member, but that's not something we're doing tonight. And again, we have the right to make amendments to this, and so that might be something that when we get to that bridge and we have to cross it, we cross it. Section 3 or E, transfer of membership. Membership on the school site council may not be assigned or transferred. So in other words, we're going to have another election to replace a vacancy. Section F, vacancies. Any vacancy on the school site council occurring during the term of a duly elected member shall be filled by a new member selected in an appropriate manner. Regular elections, appointment by the school site council for the period of time until the next regular election, or the seating of a previously elected alternate member to fill the remainder of the term of the vacancy. We don't have alternates. I don't know if we had enough interest this year around to have alternates. I'm not privy to that information. But what we can do is we can always hold a special election if we wanted to. So we'll send out some emails regarding this information where we can kind of discuss via email. What do we think about this? How do you guys feel about that? And that way we're not really burning too much time at these actual meetings.
Are we allowed to do that? Because if more than 2 of us are discussing stuff within the meeting, isn't that illegal? I mean, like outside of the meeting? How does that work?
Oh, I was thinking a group email to everybody on the board.
Right, but if it's not during a board meeting, I think that's illegal. Can someone clarify?
Yeah, please do if I'm wrong.
I think that falls under Brown Act. So, because I know that's for the regular board meetings, I do BCC members. So then it's like not having, email chain conversations about things. I'd have to double check, but that sounds pretty on the dot. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. So maybe you can send out information like with your thoughts, but like maybe like Marilyn said, BCCing everybody, and then we could discuss it. The actual discussion happens, because if we discuss it in email chain, that would be illegal, but we could discuss it at the next meeting.
So then are you guys okay taking time right now to kind of button up some of these?
I would say that's the best bet, Delfino, if we can
Okay.
agree to the bylaws now, and then, from there, it should be hard to change the
Okay.
bylaws moving forward.
So Marilyn, can we go back to section B and let's figure out how we want to hold the terms, how long we want the terms to be.
To me, it makes sense for it to be 2-year terms that are alternating, and that way there's some continuation between one group and another. If we did 2-year terms and everybody was up in 2 years, then we could potentially have a completely new group of people that don't know what happened the previous years.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not exactly sure how we should split those up, or if that needs to be in the bylaws, but maybe there's like one classroom teacher 1 year and 2 the next year, one community member the 1 year, and then the year that there's 2 classroom teachers up, there's only 2 of the community members, like, so that there's 5 positions up every year. So it's basically half of each group.
Okay. So
just to add to that, just to make sure I'm understanding clearly and you guys are understanding clearly as well. I think firstly, just to take note that one of the reasons why 1 year was suggested there is just to make sure that no one feels overwhelmed or overburdened by having a large commitment to say, I got to stay there for 5 years or I got to stay there for 6 years. So that's why a 1 year was suggested there. And I think like as the year goes by, maybe somebody might need to correct me here as we think about like one group and the other group. I don't necessarily see it as a group in my brain, because we can add more people to the student side council once we meet the requirements. So the same people that are on the student side council right now, the school side council, could continue for the next 2, 3, 4 years, and more people can be added on. So maybe I'm misunderstanding the idea of like switching out. I don't know if y'all understand.
We did write a set number of members in the school site council, right? That's
Yes, it was
going
10.
into the bylaws. So I guess we can amend it and add more in the future, but that would be a much more lengthy process than just an election. That being said, I do understand that, not wanting to overwhelm parents or teachers to commit to such a long time. We could do that, and he's right. We could potentially have members be on for several years. But as Genevieve said, we also could potentially have all new members. And I think that would be a little bit, it just wouldn't serve to build on the foundation that we're building now. We want whoever comes in to be able to pick up from this moment where we left off and just run with it. They don't have to rewrite bylaws. They don't have to revisit all these things because we've already done that work for them.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Well, more like a comment, because I know for the For each governing board, they have it staggered in depending on the role that you have
Mhm.
in the I guess the board. For example, I believe the president has a 3-year term, and there's other like executive positions that are 2 years, and then like the parent positions are 1 year. So yeah, and there's no term limit. So essentially, a parent, if they're interested and they want to run every year, they're more than happy to do that. But then you have that, I guess, a longer term, more consistency within the executive roles within the group. So there's always that knowledge that stays. And I guess that's a suggestion. I don't know what it would look like if everybody just gets voted in with a 1-year term, and depending if you want to run for a particular position, then that would change the length of how long you're at the school site council.
Yeah.
I would like to comment too. So I actually agree with the 2-year term staggered. I think that if a parent does become overwhelmed, they can always, write that letter and kind of drop out knowing that they, aren't able to handle it anymore. My only concern with it is being this the first year, we're all all the parents and teachers and everything else. If we wanted to stay on for 2 years, at what point would we'd have to figure out how to work out the logistics to start that staggering, and that's my only concern, is just figuring out those logistics. I mean, a name in a hat, I don't know, whatever we want to work out, but that would be one thing we would need to focus on.
Would that part need to be in our bylaws? Like, does it need to say right now these positions that are like this classroom teacher position that's filled by Genevieve Hokinson is the one that is, currently filled by, I mean, like, how specific does it have to be? Or could we just say, we think 2-year terms are good, we want to go ahead and stagger them, and we could maybe figure out which terms would be the best ones later? I don't know if that's a possibility. That part, does that have to be in the bylaws somehow?
I don't think it does at this very moment. Susie, I'm going to you for everything, Susie. So if
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'm trying to look that up. I don't believe that they need to be added to it. However, I think it's important that we all come to an agreement as a team working towards the same goal. So if we do agree on staggering, which, I too agree with that, of course, because we don't want to be at a 0. I really like the approach that Marilyn offered too, that we could assign term length of terms depending on the positions. We can do that, and we can go down the positions now and agree to that. If we want to go ahead and and put our pen to the paper, we can do that now and walk away from the bylaws knowing what to expect.
the other thing that I've seen happen is where they re-elect. Oh, sorry, 1 second.
That was my mistake. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. I thought I said something wrong. No, the other thing that I've seen happen is where they re-elect positions. So I have a 2-year term, but I won't necessarily be president both years. I'll be chair this year, and maybe next year somebody else takes that, and I can move into a supportive position. So I don't know if we want to work that way. The easiest way, it seems to me, is to do what Marilyn said, where we assign positions, and those positions have certain term lengths. But that's just my thought again. So this is our council. So so why don't we do this? Why don't we propose a couple of positions, and then we vote on those positions and kind of figure out where we're at. Does that need to be put into the agenda, or can it just be counted as part of the discussion?
I feel like it can be counted as part of the bylaws. Does anyone feel differently?
Yeah, that way it's informal, and we're just kind of getting our thing, and then we can actually vote to pass that motion once we have it all the bylaws kind of typed up how we think we should go. So if you think that we're not deciding to the term length yet, but if you think term lengths should be relative to your position, give me a thumbs up so we can get a quick count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, we have 5. And if you think, Brett, I'm sorry, I can't hear you. So
Did my video go on? Yes, I agree.
Okay, so that's 6. So that was me, Carla, Marilyn, Susie, Brett, and Mr. Finley. Okay. Oh, no, I'm sorry, and Jen. Mr. Finley, you're here as a guest. Ms. Jenkins, you're here as a guest. So I'm not going to count those votes, but I appreciate your support. And now, if you think that we should just everybody has a flat out 2-year term, and then we stagger that, and we'll figure that out next. But if we stagger that, then go ahead and give me a thumbs up now. Okay, John and Genevieve and Jennifer. Okay. Do the three of you care to comment as to why you don't want to put it with the relative positions?
I think one of the things too is just having a relative position. Say you do president for like 3 years, but you have a child that is, you know, only in for 2 more years, and you get kind of elected this position. I mean, you are effectively bypassing that whole concept of that bylaw and not keeping someone in. And then also, in addition to that, I think it's important to kind of hold like the different position levels. And see if we do like a 2-year term and you have president and you get elected 1 year, but the next year you don't, you at least can help to mitigate or help the new president coming in to kind of direct them or steer them to maintain control until they get the idea of it. And I think that's kind of a better idea.
I can appreciate
think,
that.
I apologize.
No, go ahead.
I think the elected positions within our council that we're electing the president, the vice president, or whatever it is, right? The secretary. I feel like those should be elected every year. That, you know, and not to say that you're not going to do a good job, but if you don't do a good job, then we could just go ahead and reelect someone else. And again, I'm just saying, like in future years, or if somebody's just not doing a good job, we can reelect them every year. So everybody gets 2 years. You know, or let's say like we have a 2-year term and next year I want to be president, but clearly this year I wasn't stepping up to the plate. Well, you know, now next year you have an opportunity to elect me, but I'm not doing a good job in my regular, you know what I'm saying? Like that whole, yeah. I feel like it's everybody's on an even playing field for that next year of if somebody wants to be a specific position. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that makes sense to me. I think one of the things I was thinking too is if we have to reelect positions or reselect people for those positions, one of the things I was thinking was that you couldn't be reelected for your position. So if I'm chair this year, I automatically cannot be chair next year. And I that's the way I've seen it done, and I can appreciate that in terms of, you know, sharing the load. So Ms. Hamilton, do you want to say anything or?
But I think I'm just not clear on the concept of it. Is it that every person in the committee will have a different title, and based on the title that you're put in that year, you'll be reelected or not?
So the first option is that me as chair, and this is just a hypothetical, right? This is not the terms we're agreeing to, but me as chair would have 3 years as the chair on the school site committee. So I wouldn't have a re-election for my position until those 3 years are up. And then I would either have to re-campaign and be re-elected, or somebody else would be elected and, you know, they would take over that position for 3 years. And then let's say you as hopefully vice chair, let's say your position is 4 years or whatever. That way there's overlap there and you can support the incoming president. Then you would have that position for 4 years or 2 years, whatever it may be. The second option is everybody has a 2-year term. Everybody, doesn't matter who you are on this committee. You're only on here for 2 years. At the end of those 2 years, you have to again re-campaign and hopefully get reelected. But within those 2 years, right, every year we'll have an election, and half of those members will be up for re-election. And then the next year, the other half will be up for an election. And then the next year, the first half will be up for election again. And then every year with that election, we reselect who's our chair. So like Ms. Genevieve said, I'm not doing my job this year. He's not calling meetings. He's never there. He's missing. He's not. Let's get somebody else to run this. And so let's say we select John, and now John's in that position. Or let's say we select you, right? And we want to move you from vice chair to chair. And then now you're taking over that position. Next year, you'll be up for re-election. If we like what you're doing, we re-vote you in to that position. And I honestly can't decide because both of them are very good options. Both of them are ways to stay fair, and both of them are ways to not overwhelm people. I think also, just John, real quick, just to your point about like my kid has 2 years left and I'm here for 3 years. Again, we do one of those things where, hey, here's my letter of resignation. I won't be here next year. But that does kind of dissolve you of that accountability, like what's going to be happening at the end of your 3rd term. And so I honestly, I see valid points in both of them, and I keep going back and forth. I think the only way we're going to move forward, though, is to just do the majority vote. Let's figure out. Susie, do you have something to say?
Yes, so Mr. Delfino, I am looking at the bylaws now, and I mean, I'm looking at it and I feel like we can agree on the 1 year, 2 year term here and put a pin on it after this discussion. I'm so happy that everybody got to weigh in. And if you want to add it to the agenda to be discussed again, as in like we dive deep and like after consideration, like we don't need to make a haste decision now.
Okay.
You're welcome to put it back on the agenda, and then you guys, after giving it some thought, you guys can come to an agreement on that.
Okay,
Maybe
so
do a little research and all
I
that.
think that sounds great. So Carla, can you please put that we will be elected for a 2-year term? And then I believe it already says there, we'll just be on 1 year. Considering language that reflects the term agreement. The following sample assumes a 2-year term, half or the nearest approximation thereof. So you see where it says half after a 2-year term, colon? You can delete that from that all the way up to if. No, up, sorry, going backwards. Yeah. So that just says that half of us will be reelected. We're going to be staggering it, and we will figure out the logistics of that in the best fair way that we can. In another meeting, I would say that, let's say that for next time, because we're down to like 20 minutes left for this meeting. Okay. Yeah, that looks good.
And Mr. Delfino and the team, and I hate to interrupt again, should it come to a disagreement in like you said, a vote as to like, the team doesn't want to take that half of the, representative group, we can always, amend this later by ways of voting, perhaps like a 2 out of 3rd type of vote.
Yeah.
So we can definitely leave that there for now. We can come back, put it on the agenda, discuss it, and if we do need to make some sort of an amendment, then we can do that as well.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so then now we can jump all the way down to under Article 3, officers. These are all pretty self-explanatory. The officers of the school site council shall be a chairperson, a vice chair, a secretary, and other officers that we may deem desirable. So right now we have those, or we will in a second. I'm the chair as of last meeting. Vice chair, we're going to vote on that in a minute. And the secretary is Ms. Carla.
Above, you had said we wanted to maybe insert a reason why we would remove someone from office. Is that necessary to add to the bylaws, or are we just going to leave it?
Yeah, I think what we'll do is when we get to that point where we want to remove somebody, and I'm hoping it's not me, no, where we want to remove somebody, then I think then we can have a 2/3 vote, and at that point, through an amendment process, start to list reasons why we would remove somebody. So now, I'm sorry, we're under Article 3, the secretary shall transmit true and correct copies of the minutes of such meetings to members of the school site council and to the following other persons. So do we want to list people that Carla needs to send these minutes to? I would just,
Mr. Maria, I was just going to say for this section, Dr. Renti expressed for me, the executive assistant, since I'm the one handling like updating the web page for school site council. That way she and I will always have access to documents, and then I can make sure to update the website as well.
Okay, let's, yeah, so let's go ahead and put Dr. Renti for sure. I was just going to say the website, but I guess Carla doesn't run the website.
No, I was going to say executive assistant in this section, or if you want to put both executive director and executive assistant, I would be the one updating that.
Yeah. That's perfect. All right. Election and terms of office. The officer shall be elected annually at the first meeting of the school site council and shall serve for 1 year or until each successor has been elected. I mean, that sounds like something that we're going to get into in the next meeting. I say for right now, let's just, nothing else really is crucial. I think we can improve it as is. And then as we explore this and as issues come up, we'll have to do, amend it as we move on. A vacancy in any office should be filled at the earliest opportunity by a special election of the school site council for the remaining portion of the term of office. I think that's fine. That's saying that we as a council here can vote on somebody to bring in. If somebody's recommended, let's say by Dr. Ranty or one of us knows somebody and they have some credentials. Let's go down to Article 4. Doesn't really need any membership right now. I mean, any amending. Article 5, the school site council shall meet regularly in the second week of the following months. Okay, so this one is up for discussion, and we also have the agenda calendar, the agenda calendar. But just in terms of general meetings, again, everybody here is spread thin. I know that Ms. Hamilton in the last meeting had said that it would be hard for her to get here at this hour. And then some of us said it would be hard for us to get here before this hour. And so, again, we're trying to respect that we only want to commit an hour at a time. If we only do this once a quarter, that won't be possible. There's just too much to cover with budgets, data analysis, weighing ideas, things like that, hearing from the committees. At our next meeting, we should be able to hear from at least one of the committees. So I was personally suggesting, and I am personally comfortable committing to one meeting a month for an hour. It's Thursday, it's the second Thursday of the month. So I don't know how you guys feel about saying that, like second Thursday of every month from 6 to 7. Is anybody opposed to saying that?
I'm comfortable with that also.
Okay. And Ms. Genevieve also said yes. Ms. Grobe, you okay with that? John, how do you feel about that? Okay,
We're good.
Jennifer?
So are we looking to do the same Thursday monthly, same hour, or will it move around?
I would like to have it be something stable that we can write on the website. School site council meets, bam, bam, bam. 6 o'clock doesn't work for you, or is hard for you. I remember you saying, so what would be a little bit better?
No, 6 o'clock is fine. It's just, my daughter's in the second grade, so she's at home right now doing distance learning. So
right.
I think I wanted to move the meeting earlier so that we could get done earlier. Because usually when I log on later, she can't focus on doing her homework without me. So then we end up doing homework like 8 or 9. But if it's a set time, then I can try to have her like do extra homework the day before. If it's like a set day every month, it's not.
So let's say the second Thursday of every month at 6, from 6 to 7.
That works.
I really do appreciate your guys' sacrifices for being here. It's hard. My first grader doesn't do. I'm looking at him and he's not working. Right? I'm watching him not work. So I get it. So I do really appreciate you guys giving up your time for this. So then, the second Thursday of every month from 6 to 7. And that makes it easy to write out the calendar for at least until June, right? To write out the rest of the calendar and to post it on our the website so that people will be aware.
Could we be more specific that is that going to be like every month of the school year instead of every month? Because every month would be 12 months of the year. I don't know if, I don't know if that's necessary.
We can say from September to June. When does the REACH calendar end this school year? June. So probably right around that day, right?
I'm not sure what will there be business we need to do in June or?
So we can say to May.
I was going to say May just because we approved a budget LCAP in June. So we would need feedback from you guys no later than a May meeting.
Awesome. So let's say from September. I'm sorry.
I apologize. Should the council meet like the month before school starts just to make sure everything's in line? Or do you think just right when it starts?
No, I agree with John, actually. I just feel bad asking so much of you guys. And so here's the other difficulty. If the teaching staff isn't on yet and they're not being paid yet, we're asking them to volunteer an hour. So that would be a
I mean,
personal.
this is a volunteer hour anyway. So
Oh, this is a volunteer hour?
yes.
Okay, so you guys okay giving up an hour in the middle of your?
But remember that we start in August, but we start in late August. So if we did the second Thursday, we would have our first meeting right
Mhm.
before school starts. So would that be acceptable versus doing it in July?
I honestly think because, oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Because we usually have like the meet and greet, what is it, the week before we go back to class, having like an early, like a early August meeting would help in case you guys want a table and, you know, try to recruit parents. That would be a good, it would be a good opportunity to like get everything together and table and try to get more people involved. So that's
Yeah, I was
a
going
lot
to
of fun.
say the same as Marilyn, that having a parent presence at the meet and greet would be incredible. Just because everyone comes, and I know as parents, I mean, as teachers, we're excited for that event. We get really excited. So, and we think it's awesome. So hopefully you all think it's awesome. And then to have you guys there also I think would really just get a lot more participation in the school site council. So I really think that would be great for us to do. And I mean, think of it anyways, if we were doing September to June, it's the same amount of time if we did August to May instead.
Yeah, I'm okay August to May. Everybody is okay with that, August to May, early August, so second week in August.
Agreed.
Okay.
So what's the term, if someone's term ends and there's a vacancy, would that happen before summer or would it be after the school year begins?
I think it would be after the school year begins. We just want to make sure the kids are up and running and the families are up and running. But I have a good feeling about this group. I really do. I think parents are going to look at what we've built and then and say, yeah, I want more of that. Let's keep building on that. So, okay, let's move on to the next point. Unless anybody else has a question or a concern. Okay. Section C, notice of meetings. This really isn't something that we get to change too much of, according to the Brown. Is it Brown? Yeah, mixing it with Williams. So we have to post it 72 hours. I think the beauty of us having set our calendar now is that we can post all dates now. But the agenda still needs to be posted 72 hours ahead of time, and Maryland does. Actually, I think Maryland makes Rachel do it, so that's good team there. Insert locations. Obviously, we can do front office, but that's not something that's really happening right now. But I think website's the biggest one. The class dojo is a big one. And I think, I don't know if are you guys using the Instagram a lot? If you are, that's a great place to post it too.
Cassidy is the one that posts on Instagram.
Who's that? I'm sorry, is that Rachel?
Yeah, sorry. Cassidy's the one that usually posts on Instagram and occasionally Dr. Renty.
Okay. So
what about
there?
Say that again?
There's a Facebook presence.
Oh, okay.
Well.
Yeah, I post on Facebook.
So
I was also going to mention that we do post a physical copy on the front office window. That's part of Brown Act, so that would be another place that we would publicize.
Okay, so it's, yeah.
And instead of just putting like Facebook and Instagram and all that, can we just put active social media accounts?
Oh yeah, yeah. Then we don't have to update it when we get other stuff.
Good idea. Facebook disappeared tomorrow.
Yeah, it's all disappearing right now. Okay, and all required notices shall be delivered to the school site council and community members in less than 72 hours and no more than blank days in advance of the meeting, personally or by mail. So that one is like if we have, Susie, that next little line, paragraph, is that if somebody has public comments and they want to bring them up to us, or is that just all required notices shall be delivered to the school site council and committee members no less than 72 hours and no more than blank days in advance of the meeting?
I'm sorry, and what is the question?
Is that like if somebody has a comment that they want to bring up at the,
yeah,
so like a parent wants to talk to us and so that's their notice?
That's correct.
Okay, so how many days advance notice do we need, guys? It says no less than 72 hours, so automatically we're 3 days out, but I think
Yeah, and you
that's
have to
kind of,
consider there's a weekend involved right before that 72-hour time period. So if we did it, 7 days, the Thursday before, and they have until the following.
yeah. I want to give them time because I feel it's hard if we post the agenda 72 hours ahead of time, how much time do they have to react to that and say, I want to comment on that? So can we make that less time? Can we say no less than 48 hours? Are we allowed to change that? That way they have at least one day to get the agenda and go, oh, I want to say something about this.
Yeah, I think it's important to give enough time and to at least have it be a place where people can feel like they can voice anything if needed.
Yeah. So I mean, sorry.
These are notices though, not
A notice for us.
right from whom?
From parents or other community members who want to come and comment on something at our next school site council meeting.
No, I think this is just the notification of the meeting. So if we lower the amount of time, that it gives parents even less time. So I think we should leave it at 72 and expand it out to like 7 days, personally.
You just keep in mind, if I may also give yourself time in case you do have things to answer, research, etc. Reach out to different people. Also consider that within that time. So giving them time, giving yourself time to deliver as well.
Okay. Okay, so I would then, let's say 7 days. That way they have a week. I like John's recommendation. Is everybody okay with this then? Okay, we can move on. We're almost done.
Just sorry, I just had like a little comment I wanted to make there to John's point. The agenda for for your meeting should be posted 72 hours before. So we are already at 4 days. Once we if we put it 7 days, we're already at 4 days where parents have the opportunity to like share whatever notices. So I guess my point here is that the more days in advance, the better it's going to be, because then you want to give yourself time as well, because you need to have the agenda and everything ready 72 hours prior to the actual meeting itself.
Maybe I'm not understanding this.
He's suggesting that it might need to be a little bit more to give parents a full week as opposed to just giving them 4 days, because we have to put the agenda out 72 hours in advance.
My question is though that if we have to do that within 72 hours and they are able to send us a notice 72 hours in advance, that would mean we would not have any opportunity to consider it and put it on the agenda. So do we want to make that 72 hours, or I don't know if we can, it's not highlighted. Could we make that longer? Like they have to give us an extra day. So at least we have a day to put on the agenda if we needed to.
Well, I think that's why it says no less than 72 hours. So anything that needs to come to the committee, it must be 72 hours or more. Otherwise, it may not necessarily make it. So if you come on the third day, you might get squeezed in, but anything after that is not guaranteed that it will make the agenda. So that's why we say no less than 72 hours. But the number in advance, it doesn't really matter. The higher the number, the better prepared we are going to be. I think 7 days is fine, but I just want to point out when you say 7 days in advance, it's technically 4 days for parents and 3 days before the actual meeting. So you're basically giving the parents 4 days to get whatever they need to get in, 4 days before the agenda is written, but it's 7 days before the actual meeting. So you can choose to send that number up, or you can leave it where it is. But just know that they're going to have about 4 days prior to the agenda.
So I think what Genevieve is saying is that we can build ourselves a little bit more of a buffer. If we said, let's say no more than 84 hours, that way we give ourselves a whole day to be able to review it and put it on the agenda. And I'm okay saying and no more than 15 days, and that way they have 2 weeks to get us something that they want to get to us.
I'm sorry to interrupt, Defino, because I'm looking at section F there where it says meetings open to the public. And then Marilyn, of course, you and Judy do this too very often. And I'm looking back at the notice of meetings, and I feel like that specific part is the notices that will be delivered to the committee entirely. That would include like the agenda, for example. It would include documents is what I'm looking at now. And so I'm thinking that this is really like any required notifications that come along with the meetings, notice of meetings should be also delivered to the committee no less than 72 hours.
In other words, Marilyn is going to send us the agenda and the Zoom link.
You guys should have all the information that you
Oh.
need no less than 72 hours, as much as you know that the meetings will be given at least 72 hours in advance to you as well.
Please
And then
interrupt.
I just want to say you're doing an amazing job, all of you. And I know this is the first time, and the bylaws are not easy, and it's only going to get smoother. So I appreciate your guys's, like sticking through it, and we're almost done. So way to go.
Okay, so in other words, we don't want to know about a meeting more than 7 days in advance, but at least 3 days in advance. Susie, please feel free to interrupt me sooner before I derail these meetings.
Yeah,
Okay.
sorry about that. Yes,
So
definitely.
we're good with that.
Thank you.
Let's go on to the next one, which is Article 6, and this is the end of it. Amendments. It says an amendment of these bylaws may be made at any regular meeting by the school site council by a vote of 2/3 of the members present. Written notice of the proposed amendment must be submitted to the school site council members at least blank days prior to the meeting at which the amendment is to be considered for adoption. So in this one, it would be one of us submitting an amendment to the other ones of us. So in that situation, I have a lot going on and I need time to consider these things. I feel comfortable saying 7 days at least. That gives me a week to, at least 1 weekend in there to sit down quietly and read it. Are you guys okay with 7 days on this one? John, you got thoughts? I can see him formulating. What's going on, buddy?
I'm just kind of thinking, like, I know a lot of us are really busy, especially like on the weekends and things like that. So if we make it, instead of just having a full week, if we made it like 7 business days where we actually had it kind of where the teacher could also look at it and everything else to kind of review it instead of just 7 days straight.
I'm okay with that. Mm-hmm. Perfect.
Mr. Maria?
Yes.
Before you wrap up this bylaw talk, because I know we're at the end, I noticed something that I forgot to highlight, and it's actually mentioned in 2 sections. It's defining the quorum for the school site council. My apologies, that was my fault. But right here on the template, it's just basically saying we could keep it at what the majority is, or if we wanted to determine maybe a smaller number just in case there's certain week or certain months that not more than half of the members can't show up, we can still, pass action items. So I believe that's in D Article 5, and then I believe it's also here in Article F.
Yeah.
Article 4.
I would suggest just because I'm hesitant to say a majority of the people present, and I would rather say a majority of the school site council, that we always have one more person than half of the members. So in our situation, it would be 6 people.
I will agree with that. I think with a group this small, only having 10 members, that, I mean, if we had like 30 members, then I can understand not going half, but having only 10 members, just having 6 people having a simple majority is probably a better representative of to make decisions.
Yeah.
My only question there is that, I mean, not that I'm necessarily thinking that this will happen like now, but on the off chance that we have kind of a crazy group of people that decide to abandon responsibility, like how would it work if somehow half of the people were just not showing up and we cannot conduct business? Again, I'm not saying that that's necessarily going to happen with this group, but I just am throwing that out there.
Never in the history of politics have politicians been irresponsible. I think what we should do is we'll get to that in other days, but part of the, where we list reasons that we can elect to suspend or expel members would be, if you're missing 3 consecutive meetings, then we got to get somebody here who's able to. Like, I don't want to pass judgment and say you're not working, but who is able to. It can be very difficult for us at times. So I think we'll save that wordage for maybe another meeting. And for tonight, we decide is 6 representative of the majority right now. Right. And I think just mathematically it is, right? So are you guys okay with that? I think Genevieve brings up good points, but yeah. Okay. So then can we write that? Can we say a majority of the members, comma, which constitutes 1 more than half of the members? Or I don't know if that's how it should be. Am I not wording it correctly? But
You want to say like 60%?
yeah, we can say 60%. And that way, if it grows, we always know it's.
Did earlier it say that Dr. Renty is not technically a member, but a member, like she could be the extra person to help with, is that what it said? I might be misremembering it. I don't have it in front of me. Like a de
Dr.
facto member.
Ramsey, if I remember from the last meeting correctly, is not a member. She said she would be there that day acting as kind of a guide and as the acting admin of that day, but she wouldn't be there on a regular. But Susie was also there that day, so I'm not really sure who's taking that
Always
position.
an admin? Is that what it
There's
is?
always going to be an admin, right? So it's going to be between us 3. Excuse me, between us 3. That's
Okay.
probably what you heard, and if I remember correctly, as well as Delphina.
Yeah.
Does that make 11 people, or is that still?
That's 10.
It's still
With
10.
So if Dr. Renty and Susie and Mr. Finley come to the same meeting, then 2 of them are not going to vote that day. We're going to still have 10. And it's up to them to figure it out or fight for it. No, I'm just kidding. Okay. So so how do we want to word that? That's the last part, right? Is how do we want to word? A majority of the members of the committee shall constitute a quorum. So let's get rid of a majority of the members and just say 60% of the members shall constitute a quorum.
I would actually disagree with that, because if we actually end up expanding into any other part, getting 60% could be kind of difficult, but just having a simple majority, so say we have 20 and we want 11 people, that's no longer 60.
Okay, so let's go back to the original verbiage then. 1 more than half of the members will constitute a quorum. Sorry, Carla.
But I guess how is that different to 60%?
Well, if we have 30 members, 16 is 1 more than half, but it's only like 52% or 53%.
Got it.
So
yeah, so if we change the bylaws and expand the number of memberships, we don't have to make a bunch of changes throughout the entire thing.
Yeah, and then also it's more possible to get 16 than it is to get 23 members to show up that day or whatever that number may be. Okay, can we just copy that and put it on section? I lost it.
D.
D, yes, thank you. Section D of Article 5. All right. Okay. So now let's go back to the agenda. We are on page 6. Where are we? I'm sorry, I thought we were on page 6.
It's page.
I think we're at number 7. I know.
Oh, I thought we were on item 4.
Oh, no.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. You guys are right. I'm so sorry. Yes. Okay. So then can I have somebody motion that we approve the bylaws?
I motion to approve the bylaws.
Thank you, Genevieve.
Oh, wait, bylaws that's a consent meeting.
Oh, that's the minutes. So then we're on 6. I'm sorry.
No, it's
Where are
just,
we?
so what happened is that I made the bylaw like a discussion, but then I included it as an action item later in the agenda.
Oh, okay. Okay, I'm sorry. So then let's wait. I'm sorry. Thank you. Did everybody get a chance to approve or review the minutes from our last and first meeting?
Yes.
Yes, Carla did.
Mhm.
John's good. Jen Grob, are you okay? Ms. Hamilton? Good. Okay. So then now can I have a motion to approve the minutes from the last meeting? I'm sorry, are there any amendments or any changes that we need to make to them? No? Okay. So if I can have somebody motion to approve those?
I
I'll
motion to
motion.
approve.
All
I'll
right.
second.
Thank you. So Jennifer Hamilton motioned. And Genevieve, I'm sorry, how do I say your last name?
Hokinson.
Hokinson. Okay, Genevieve Hokinson seconded. Now let's take our vote. So Ms. Navarro,
Aye.
thank you. Marilyn,
Aye.
thank you.
Aye.
Thank you. Absent for Mr. Osegueda. Carla's on her own. Thank you, Carla. John?
Aye.
Thank you. Ms. Grob?
Aye.
Thank you. Ms. Hamilton? Thank you. I think I saw you say aye. It was muted, but okay.
Yeah,
Brett?
aye, sorry, yeah, aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Brett. And an aye for me as well. 9 there. Perfect. Okay, action item 8.1. Approval of Reach Site School Site Council bylaws. So we've talked about it. All right. So now can I have a motion to approve the bylaws?
I
Aye.
move to approve.
Okay.
What was that?
Ms. Navarro
I'm
already
so
voted aye.
excited about approving this.
She voted aye on that. Okay, so John Kearney, motion to approve it. Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Ms. Genevieve seconded it. And let's go through now the vote. So that was an aye. That was a very eager aye. Ms. Marilyn?
Aye.
Perfect. Thank you.
Aye.
Thank you. Absent. Ms. Sanchez?
Aye.
Thank you. Mr. Kearney?
Aye.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Grob?
Aye.
Thank you. Ms. Hamilton?
Aye.
Thank you. McIntosh? Brett?
Aye.
Thank you. And I also vote yes. So there we go. Motion carries. Let's see. Okay, so we have a little special election today for to fill in the position of vice chair. Ms. Hamilton was gracious enough to say she's interested in the position. So she will abstain from this vote, Ms. Sanchez, but the rest of us will vote. Ms. Navarro? Oh, I'm sorry. Someone needs to motion. I'm so sorry.
Oh, did you want me to read the?
Motion.
Oh yes, I'm sorry. Ms. Hamilton wrote a little bio for us, and she is more than super qualified. So I do want Marilyn to read it, please.
Mr. Delfino, if I may interrupt here and advise for us to read her vitae, like we would love to hear that, ask any questions, and then at that point, if we can put her in the waiting room in order for
Okay.
us to discuss, that would be great.
Okay.
Alrighty, then I'll go ahead and read her information. So Miss Jennifer Hamilton, she studied at the University of Hawaii at Manoa, earning a bachelor's degree in business administration with an emphasis in economics. She's speaking in but I have held positions in many different fields, but I feel that I have found my true calling in higher education. For over 5 years, I have worked in the UC University of California system as a financial and administrative coordinator to the executive office. In my current position as a financial and administrative coordinator in the dean's office at UCR, I have served on many committees to promote student support, diversity, and success. A few committees that I have had the pleasure of chairing meetings and brainstorming strategic solutions include the Student Health Advisory Committee, the CEP, which is a Committee on Educational Policy, AAP, which is the Affirmative Action Planning Committee, and Degree Completion Initiative Committee. I feel that being a Reach mom For the last 3 years, coupled with my experience and leadership skills directly align with the goals needed in the position, I would love to further assist in the betterment of Reach Leadership Academy. So that's Ms. Jennifer Hamilton.
Okay. Ms. Hamilton, we're going to put you in the waiting room now then, and we'll discuss, and then we'll call you back in a second.
Do we have any questions for Ms. Hamilton before we put her in a waiting room?
Yes. Sorry.
Marilyn, can you let Marcus back in?
I am in now.
Do we have any questions for Ms. Hamilton? Okay, I'll go ahead and place her in the waiting room now. So if
Thank
you
you.
can wait for us, Ms. Hamilton.
Okay.
Okay.
Awesome. So do you guys have any comments, any objections? I think she's going to do great. Sorry, my voice is, I'm becoming a man, guys. No, I think she's going to do great. I think she seems very excited and eager to help. And I know that she was originally interested in the position of chair. She just had some things going on that she couldn't quite get stuff in on time. And so, again, one of those reasons that if we want to re-elect somebody, we want to elect somebody else for this position. We want somebody who's going to be motivated, and I think she's more than qualified. Anybody else have comments? Okay, so do we vote now and then bring her in? Okay. So, actually, can we have somebody motion and
I'll
second?
motion to elect.
Okay, thank you. Can we get somebody to second that?
I'll second Jen Grobe.
Thank you, Jen.
Sorry, who was the one who
Genevieve Wilkinson?
who motioned it? Who motioned
Yeah.
it? It was Genevieve. Okay,
Mhm.
sorry. And then who seconded?
Jen
it?
Grobe?
Okay, sorry.
Is it Grobe? I'm sorry, am I saying it wrong?
Oh, no worries. Yeah, it's Grobe.
Grobe. Okay, thank you. Okay, so now let's go ahead and take a vote on it. Ms. Navarro?
I say aye.
Thank you, Marilyn.
Aye.
Thank you. Genevieve?
Aye.
Thank you. Actually, Alvin is here now. Alvin, are you able to unmute yourself and vote? We're voting for Miss Jennifer Hamilton to take the position of vice chair.
Aye.
Thank you. Carla, go ahead.
Aye.
Thank you. John?
Aye.
Ms. Grobe?
Aye.
Thank you. Jennifer will abstain.
Aye.
Thank you, Brett. And then I also vote aye. And that's it. The motion carries. Can we invite her back in and congratulate her? Thank you.
You give her a warm welcome. Are we
Yes.
ready? I'll go ahead and admit now. Okay.
Yay! Only one person abstained, Miss Hamilton. It was you. But other than that, everybody's excited to have you on board.
It was a while. I was like, oh, maybe they voted me out.
Actually, Mr. Osegueda came on just to vote for you, so I thought it was rather nice.
We had a very heated debate about it.
Okay. Oh yes. I know we're running over, guys. I'm sorry. The moment we've all been waiting for, the school site council logo. So Miss Staylor came back with some new options. They all look great. I already have my personal favorite, but let's go ahead and look at them. Marilyn, if you could. So what we'll do is from top left and then go over to the right, that's option 2, and then bottom left, the dark one, that's option 3, and then the last one is the one with the gold bar, okay? So oh, she scared me. All right, let's go ahead. Option 1, which is at top left. For this one, do we have to pass motions to vote on every single option, or can we just vote on the options?
Where do we left? Did we leave off on 2? I feel like it was between 2 last time, wasn't it?
She ended up merging those 2 and made 4 new options out of those 2.
I only added a chart for like each item in case we wanted to organize and do like a vote for each, but I just did so the formatting was on there.
Yeah.
Do we all just vote for what we want?
Yeah, it just feels a little clunky. So let's say this. Let's just put a thumbs up or say "I" out loud if you would like option 1, top left, tree with the little stars.
Aye.
Okay, Brett wants option 1. So, Ms. Sanchez, what if I just under Brett put just write a number 1, and we know what option she wanted? What do you think about that? There you go. Perfect. Okay. And did I miss anybody else? I didn't think I saw anybody else. Okay. Sorry, that's my little. That guy's coming to reach next year. Let's do option 2. So to the right of that option. Yes, thank you, Marilyn. If you would like that one, thumbs up or say aye, please. Okay. All right, let's jump down to option 3, the big square one. All those in favor, thumbs up, say aye. Okay, for John, can we put a 3? And for Marilyn, can we put a 3, please? Did I miss anybody else? No, okay. And for option 4, that one night when I saw it, I knew it. So we have for Jen Grove, Mr. Finley, Genevieve. I think we have a winner. I don't even think we need to tally this at this point anymore.
There's 6 more. So
Okay, so let's say, so then what I need now is a motion from somebody to select option 4 as our official school site logo.
As one of the obvious losers, I will motion.
Always graceful, John. Thank you. I appreciate it. So John motioned.
I second.
Thank you, Mr. Osegueda. Is it Osegueda?
Osegueda, yeah.
Osegueda, perfect.
Thank
All
you.
right, so now we're going to replace all those numbers with ayes and nays. So Ms. Navarro?
Aye.
Aye, perfect. Mr. La Cruz? I can't hear her. She's saying she's sad though. I
Oh,
think.
I was gonna say it was a name for me, but it's still really cute, so still happy.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Genevieve?
Aye.
Thank you. Mr. Osegueda?
Aye.
Thank you. Ms. Sanchez?
Aye.
Thank you. Mr. Kearney?
Aye.
Aye, look at that. Awesome. Thank you. Ms. Grove?
Aye.
Thank you. Ms. Hamilton?
Aye.
Thank you. McIntosh, Brett?
Aye.
Thank you. And that's an aye for me too. So the ayes have it. The motion carries. That is our new school site logo. Let's get shirts and hats made. Love it.
Sorry, at the top where it says the option, should I change it to option
4.
D4 or?
Yeah. Yeah, and then I think we can delete the other, the 8.4s and all that to make
So
it.
are we calling it option 4 or option D?
Oh, D. Let's say D. That's what it said on there.
Got it.
Thank you. And we can just delete 8.4, 8.5, and 8.6. Okay, so are there any board comments from any members as we move on? This is kind of the close of our meeting, but is there any comments from anybody?
You're doing great, Delfino.
I'm trying. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Awesome.
I had notes and everything in preparation. I was ready for this.
You can tell. You're fantastic.
Thank you. Again, I just wanted to reiterate, ELAC is having their first meeting 2 weeks from now. And Miss Judy and Miss Gascon are both working on their APAC meeting. If you can, if you're interested, be a part of it as in any capacity that you can. I've already told Miss Gascon, and I will extend this to you, Miss Jenkins, that if all I can do for you guys is buy you Starbucks, I will buy you Starbucks. You let me know. I know there's a lot going on these days. If anybody is interested in the link to the ELAC meeting, please let me know and I can forward that to you. Another thing, we're going to be putting my email address on the website and the class dojo and saying if you have any school site council concerns or you want to talk to a parent, email this email, and that way people can get a hold of us. If you're interested in doing the same thing, we got to let Marilyn know and we can do that. And I think that's it. I just want to make sure that you guys, please familiarize yourself with the REACH School Site Council. I'm a brand new parent, so I have to read everything for the first time, but you guys that have been here before for a couple of years, you might already be familiar with it. We want to make sure everything that we do here is just in support of that vision and that mission statement, and ultimately that it's going to benefit the students as much as possible. I thank you guys for your time. I don't think we have anything else to talk about.
I just want to make sure that was a lovely like wrap up though.
Oh,
But I want to make sure that Ms. Sanchez goes up to our guest list and or people in attendance and adds Mr. Alceguera as he joined us
Oh, okay.
at the very top.
And we did
Sorry,
have for a
everyone, for
while.
being a little bit late. Sorry about that.
It's okay,
We're
we're
good.
glad you're here.
We also had it looked like a visitor for a while, but they left. I don't know if it was a parent or who it was. And I don't know, I'm not really familiar with the procedure if we stop it at that point and add them to the list. If we just say hi to them and just keep going, or if we just keep going as.
Yeah, I feel like we just keep going and then you know, we can catch it at the tail end or the secretary sees
Ms.
it.
Jenkins, I will call on you, I'm sorry. Yeah,
Okay.
okay.
If the secretary sees it, then she can take note. Like if somebody's in the waiting room before getting admitted, perhaps that's when you know, Sanchez writes down the name and she can update it as well.
Okay, oh, thank you for that note. Ms. Jenkins, you had something to say, I'm sorry.
I would like to thank Miss Rachel for doing an awesome job on the logos, samples. Yay, Rachel.
Thanks, Judy. Glad you guys liked it.
Yeah.
I liked it was hard. The first round was hard. The first round we debated for a long time on that one. That was great.
That's great. That's a great start.
See, when I'm looking at it, I'm like, what's gonna look good on a polo? Right? I want that on a polo. I want to see like when we do the, fundraising car washes and stuff.
Oh, I love it.
But okay. Anything else for me or anybody else here, or are we ready to adjourn? Okay.
I motion to adjourn.
Again, Ms. Hamilton, welcome. I know you were here last meeting, but welcome to that new position. I will be reaching out to you. And I want
Thank you guys so much.
Oh, absolutely. And I want to thank you guys for your personal sacrifice to be here. I know it's hard. I know that we give up other things for this. And so I really appreciate it because my kid's going to benefit from that, right? Or all three of my kids will benefit from it. And what my goal is to leave a lasting legacy for other people to build off of. It doesn't matter that they don't know who built this or not, but what I want them to do is reap the benefits of this. And so at this point, I just need a second to adjourn the meeting.
I second.
Thank you. And the meeting is adjourned at 7:27. So right on time. Just kidding. Our next meeting.
Was that Jennifer Hamilton who seconded?
Oh.
No, it was me, Brett McIntosh.
Brett, okay.
Oh, it was Brett. Thank you, Brett. And we are at, our next meeting will be on February 11th at 6 p.m. Awesome. All right, guys. Thank you. Have a good night.
Good night. Thank
Bye.
you. Thank you, Delfino.
Of course.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Delfino. Great
You're
job.
welcome. Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Thank you.